Good morning. My name is Tim Murphy, and I'm here with Mark Frisco today. Mark and I bring you the real estate show every week, along with Rick McNabb, but Rick's out on safari this week. We wanted to give you an update of what's going on in the marketplace and just have some fun today. First, Mark, you're with Jobin Real Estate, part of the Rick McNabb team, yourself, you, and Barbara, and you guys are located in Hollywood, Maryland, right down the street off of 235, right? Right down the street from Dean Lumber. And
yeah.
My name is Tim Murphy. I'm here with C&F Mortgage Company, and I'm located in Hollywood. Geez, I'm located in Waldorf, Maryland, down the street from Thompson High School, Route 5. And I like to think of it as God's country. But Mark and I were talking today, and we were thinking, looking back and just thinking about where we were, and realizing that, all we are really is a bunch of small-town country boys, aren't we?
Right.
And when you think about it, we like to look at real estate from that direction too. So one of the things we brought with us today are a couple of the implements, if you will, a couple of the tools of our trade. And I thought, Mark, I'd let you go ahead and start. And what do you got there in your hand, sir? What's that for?
I got a hammer.
A hammer? What do you use that hammer for?
Some of these deals on the market, we got to hammer them out. We got to bang and put some sweat into them and get them fixed up.
And Mark's right. There are some pretty decent opportunities out there. A lot of houses sometimes need a little TLC, don't they? Mm-hmm. They really do. In fact, one of the houses that Mark and I were talking about, I pulled up yesterday on the internet. House been on the market, Mark, for 8 days over in Owings, Dunkirk area, over in Calvert County. This house sold in 2006 for $735,000.
I know the house you're talking about, actually.
Yeah. And the house is gutted, I got to tell you, but still a beautiful home. 6 bedrooms, 5 six bedrooms, 5 baths. Has a detached garage. Has a barn with stalls on it. 5 acres. For $235,000.
Now, what do you think if we were to run the numbers? Now, what would it cost somebody to repair a house like that?
Well, realistically, I actually looked at it and said, roughly from a number standpoint, about $100,000.
That's what I was thinking too.
So when you think about it, Mark, you're going to buy a house for $235,000. You're going to pour $100,000 into the repair work. So now you're at $335,000 for a house that cost just 3 years ago for $735,000.
Exactly. That's a beautiful home, actually.
It really is. And that's why when Mark was talking about, do we have to hammer it out? Yeah. Sometimes we got to beat the deals to make things work. Okay? Other ideas. What else what's the screwdriver for there, Mark? What's that represent to you?
Well,
I know some of the deals are screwy. That's for
they are kind of screwy. But things are tightening up in the market.
And Mark's right about that. I mean, when we think about it, when Mark's talking about tightening up, we are seeing a lot of competition out there. I mean, it's amazing where the low end in the beginning was really, there were a ton of houses. All of a sudden, the market's starting to change. Starting to see a lot more competition, a lot more contracts.
And when these good deals get there, they're gone. I mean, I've been saying this almost every commercial we've done. Every time we see a good deal, it's a week and it's gone.
And that's the amazing thing. People think, oh, they got all the time in the world to wait, but realistically, they don't. I mean, and that's the key in a nutshell. You've got to realize that if you're really committed to making a deal work, you got to get out there and start seeing it. But more importantly, you got to be ready. You've got to really know, where all the angles are. Is my credit ready? Can I qualify? How much cash do I need? Is my income there? Have I got the proper paperwork in place?
Exactly.
There's some pretty amazing things out there. What else we got here, Mark? What else?
Well, we got a saw.
Now, what is the saw for? I can't wait to hear about this one. Hear about the hammer and the screwdriver. What's the saw for?
Well, we might have to cut some walls down, put some heavy-duty work into it.
And Mark's right. Sometimes you got to cut some things out to make the deal work. You really do. There's a lot of compromise and really negotiation, and that's, I think, key when Mark and Rick and Barbara get together. They know those negotiating strategies, exactly. How to go in and really get the closing help to keep your cash out of pocket low, and how to go in and sometimes make multiple bids. How to know how to price the deal, how to bring in somebody to tell you, well, this is kind of the repairs you might want to make, or how you can actually sometimes roll the money in, roll the repairs in to make it work.
And that's the main thing. Sometimes you can still do repairs with only having 3.5%.
Mark's right. The FHA 203K is this program he's talking about, and that program actually allows you, and we could use that on that Calvert County house, which would be sweet. Actually would allow you to roll in the cost of the repairs. So sometimes people think, oh, I'm going to buy this house, it needs work, but then I don't have the money to do it. And that's nonsense. It can be done.
Just got to ask somebody.
I can't wait to hear about the pliers, Mark. What's the pliers stand for? Now, I know you're not a dentist, so I think he wants
We're not pulling teeth, no.
It's not like pulling teeth.
No, not at all.
Mark, you're right. In this business, realistically, it is a fairly simple process. But you have to have what I believe is a team in place. And I think that's the critical part. When you have a real estate agent who really knows what he's doing, who can show you the houses, show you the market, show you the comparables, show you how to bid, show you the price, show you how to set the settlement date in place. That's the critical thing. And then more importantly, walking you through the inspections. Home inspection alone, Mark, you and I both know the importance of that.
It's the best $300 anyone will ever spend.
It really is. It's amazing just to know that, okay, the first step is to write your contract. Next step, really, once it's agreed to, is to have that home inspection in place so that you don't have to use these tools too much unless you want to. That's the key in a nutshell.
And that's the thing. You'll know what you'll have to use these tools for.
Exactly right.
You'll know exactly what needs to be done. And here's the thing with a house like the house we were talking about before. If you put $100,000 into it and it's gutted, that means that you get to build the house the way that you would want it. You're not walking into ugly paint colors that somebody else put in, or cabinets that you don't necessarily like and you're going to have to save money to replace. You do it all at once and you've got the home of your dreams.
And I think that home that we're speaking specifically is a phenomenal deal because the 5-acre lot alone would sell for $200,000. So that is truly a home run. So thinking about the things, the steps we take place, the contracts agreed to, it's negotiated, we've done the home inspection, we've identified we want to ask the seller to pay some of the repairs. That's a possibility there. Then depending upon how that negotiation part steps in, then I, as the lender, bring the appraisal in to be able to substantiate and say, hey, this value is definitely the case. It's worth what you're paying, because that's the other side of the coin. We want you to be confident with the contract, confident with the house, confident that you know what the payments are going to be, and be able to afford it too. Because you know how a lot of people got into the business, didn't they? Somebody hit them over the head.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it was like, oh, geez, what hit me? And all of a sudden, 3 years later, they're in this crazy arm product, and well, you know how the world is these days.
It was way too easy back then.
It really was. And today we really want you to, if you will, think it out. Have the tools to be able to make the right decision and jump forward, if you will. So, we go through the process, we get the appraisal, you get the settle, you got the keys, and I thoroughly think it gives you that sense of, if you will, community, really having your own space. If you want to have a dog or a cat, geez, you can do whatever the heck you want to do.
Exactly.
It's really up to you how you want to do things, and that's the beauty of home ownership. Plus, don't forget the $8,000 tax credit.
Yeah, time's running out. Time
is running out. It may be extended. We don't know. We really don't. Best philosophy, though, is to get in and figure out, what can I afford? Where am I budgeted to be able to do? And that's the critical part. It really is.
Even if they do extend it, when do you think we'll know by?
Well, that's the crazy part. Even if they do extend it, we may not know until probably November, December, January, February. And I will tell you, there is another round of foreclosures getting ready to come on the market, Mark. And the one thing, Mark, you and I have both talked about this, what's the condition of the house has been?
Lately, a lot better than we've seen before. Because here's the good thing. Typically, these foreclosures are going on the market after they've sat for a winter, and that's what causes them to pipes to burst and this and that. And then nowadays, these foreclosures came on, well, they became a foreclosure in the summer months, so it was nice and warm and no pipes burst or anything like that, and now they're finally jumping onto the market.
Right.
So there's a lot less wrong with the homes that are coming out today.
And I think the banks, too, are also responding in that category from that standpoint. So the key in a nutshell we want to tell you today is you got to have, if you will, Mark, the tools, right?
The tools.
And, not more importantly, the tools, you got to have the team in place. And that's the critical part. Now, to get a hold of the team, you can call myself or Mark, and Barbara and Rick. They can be reached at Joba Realty over at their 301-373-6257. Or you can call them go on the website, which is phenomenal because it's an excellent place to see what's out there.
Best way to get a hold of us.
And that's at allsouthernmdhomes.com. Or you can give me a call here at my number below. We'll see you then. Thanks.